Somebody need to stop Steve Harvey before he simps one more again. Coming to paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, 1987. Learn lessons about life and teenage love in the 1980s with this coming-of-age John Haynes story. Pre-order your copy of John Haynes, 1987 at online booksellers everywhere. Steve Harvey's simp levels are over 9,000 one mo again.
But that's what's wrong with this generation today. These young boys today, what do she bring to the table? The hell you mean, man? What do your ass bring to the table? You got a woman that can come to the table that can make another you. What else she need to slide up to the table with? What about your job? What happened to men who were supposed to be responsible? Do you know that it's our job to take care of a woman and some children, to have a family? That's our damn job.
On a recent interview with Shannon Sharp, Steve Harvey stated that a woman didn't have to bring anything to the table, as he castigated men for not wanting to have relationships with women. Now, according to Steve Harvey, a woman doesn't have to bring anything to the table in a relationship, and that she just needs to be provided for by a man. And I'm going to have to call BS on that, because a man needs to understand what a woman brings to the table in terms of intangibles, because it's those intangibles that shape the other you that Steve Harvey talks about, that this woman makes when she bears a child. Now, when a man wants to get involved with a woman, he wants to know what intangibles she brings to the table to match the tangibles that he is going to provide in that relationship. Because in an interdependent relationship, while a man does go out of his way to take care of a woman who helps meet his needs under God's natural order, that woman has to be able to provide values to his children. And it's those values that are the most important thing that she needs to bring to the table. And this goes back to the old African proverb, which states, a race can rise no higher than the moral position of its women, and as the woman goes, so goes the race. So a woman has to bring something to the table for a man to consider her for a serious relationship like marriage, because in order for that relationship to work, she has to bring intangibles to the table that can work with the tangibles a man provides for a woman financially and economically. So for a man to provide intangibles to a woman, she has to bring intangibles to the table, and those intangibles are related to her values and her character, because it is her values and her character that are going to be passed on to those children that look like that man. And this is the thing that flies over the head of a simp like Steve Harvey, who is caught up in his feelings about the women and about appeasing and pleasing them. He's so caught up in his feelings about getting attention from women that he's not thinking about the content of her character. No, all he's thinking about are the double D's on her chest and that big 66-inch rear end. He's not really thinking about what's between her ears. All he's thinking about is what's between her legs and trying to get access to what's between those legs, not understanding what's down there smells like sardines and ravioli, and it basically is an atomic waste reactor that has been serviced by multiple carbon rods. So he doesn't really have any standards for the values of the women he gets involved with, and he thinks, oh, a man is just supposed to take care of any woman. No, a woman has to show that she brings something to the table in terms of values and character to make a man want to go out here and want to consider her for marriage. Because In order for a man to consider a woman for marriage, a man needs to see that a woman has a high moral position, and that is something today's modern, strong, independent American woman does not have these days. Because many women have been indoctrinated into feminism, many of these women want to take the place of a man in God's natural order. And in fact, what they want to do is replace the man because they don't trust the man to go out here and lead. No, what they want to do is usurp his position, and with the support of simps in business, government, and the entertainment industry, like Steve Harvey, this woman has been placed in a de facto position where she has all of this power, but she has never been held accountable or responsible the way men are held accountable and responsible the way they are in God's natural order. And I just find it hypocritical for Steve Harvey to sit there and say he's a Christian, but he's sitting there getting emotional and talking about what do these men they need to bring to the table. Well, a lot of men want to go out here and be the heads of their households. Unfortunately, they can't be the heads of their households because a government system goes out here and tries to undermine their authority. And they try to undermine their authority because they want women to be the head so that they can go out here and be consumers and go out here and buy all of the products and go out here and make these corporations rich. Because when there is a man running his household, he is building wealth inside of his home for his family, and he's building wealth so that his family can have something in case he gets sick or he passes away. That family can be cared for by all of the assets he has saved and the tangible assets he has saved that have value. But our government and our world doesn't want those men to go out here and build wealth. No, what they want the woman to do, is be the head of household. And as she amasses a whole lot of debt, they can make money off her continuing to be a consumer over and over again. I go in depth on this in my book, The Woman Crisis, and what happens with women is that they learn from the feminists that they don't have to bring anything to the table because corporate America and the government will take care of them, and because they are taken care of by corporate America and the government, they believe that they don't have to bring anything to the table in terms of values or character because they know that they're going to be taken care of by a zaddy, so they don't want to be a helpmeet that submits to the authority of a man. No, what they want to be is submissive to their corporate boss and the government. They will submit to those two entities before they submit to a man, and this is one of the core reasons why men today are asking what this woman brings to the table, because most modern women today feel entitled. Most modern women feel like they don't have to bring anything to a man's table to help him build anything. And with simps like Steve Harvey, they want to sit there and make excuses for those women instead of insisting that these women meet a standard that men need in order for them to have a relationship with them. Because in order for a woman to be a part of God's natural order, a woman has to bring something to the table. And again, she has to bring those morals and values, because those morals and values are important if you're serving the Most High, because it is those morals and values that will ensure that a woman, being the first teacher of a child, will go out here and teach a child the gospel and teach her children to aspire to be like the Messiah. That is the ultimate goal of a righteous woman, a woman who is following and serving the Most High. She wants to be a helpmeet to a man by being a woman who will have the morals and values and character that will ensure that his children who are another him will be taught the same morals and values that made that man who he is. That is what a woman has to bring to the table for a man. It is those intangibles of values and character. That is what a man wants a woman to bring to the table. But men like Steve Harvey, they don't have any sort of standard. They just think, oh, if I give this woman a whole bunch of stuff, she will go out here and appreciate it. But she won't appreciate anything because she has no moral position and no moral compass. And again, without that standard, you cannot have a man wanting to take care of a woman, because what makes a man want to take care of a woman and go out here and look to leave all others is the fact that that woman has morals and values that are high above every other woman out there, and it's those morals and values that are the thing that a man is looking for in a wife. Because the one thing that men look for from minute one, and when their heads are on straight, is they're looking for respect. And if you can't get respect from minute one from a woman, then you're not going to be interested in dealing with her at all. Because if she couldn't give you the basic intangible of respect, then it just basically shows there's no reason for you to move forward, because she's not bringing the most important intangible to the table. And that most important intangible is respect. And if a man can't get his respect, he can't have a relationship with her. This is something I learned back when I was about 13, 14 years old, when I started getting involved with girls. And when I remember being in a science class in 9th grade, and a girl just went out here and made fun of me. Then later on, when I was in a cooking class, she goes and tries to come and talk to me. And I wasn't interested at that point, because she didn't show me respect from minute one. And again, if you can't get respect, you're not going to earn respect, because respect is something that everybody gives someone. And if you are following the principles of the Most High, you're going to do unto others as you want done unto you. And the first thing you're going to give a man or a boy when you're out here exploring is respect. That respect is the foundation for everything. Unfortunately, Steve Harvey doesn't have any sort of standards. And because Steve Harvey doesn't have any sort of standards, he sits there and thinks, oh, I need to the woman doesn't have to bring anything to the table for me to take care of her. And he's just absolutely wrong. And he's absolutely wrong because he's sitting there lowering his own value as a man, talking about taking care of someone who doesn't appreciate anything you do for them. Why should I take the time to take care of a woman who doesn't want to help meet my needs? Why should I go out here and want to take care of a woman who does not want to appreciate anything that I'm trying to do? Why should I work with a woman who doesn't want to help me go out here and build as related to our family? These are the critical questions I would like to ask Steve Harvey, who has a very shallow interpretation of relationships. Because if this woman can make another me, I want to make sure that that other me has the right values and the right moral position. Because if that woman, who is the first teacher of my children, doesn't have the right values, then she's not going to make another me. No, what she's going to do is make another Pookie or another Ray Ray, because she's learned to disrespect me, and then she learns to go out here and teach my children to disrespect me. And again, this child will not learn to respect anything that I try to teach them. This is what Steve Harvey doesn't understand about relationships, and why it's important to be careful about what woman you get involved with. The woman you get involved with is going to be the woman who teaches your children, and that's why you have to be very selective about the woman you get involved with. This is the most important choice you will make in your entire life. Unfortunately, a whole generation of simps like Steve Harvey have had their brains washed by Madison Avenue and Hollywood, and because they've had their brains washed by Madison Avenue and Hollywood, they take the choice that they have to make as related to who will be the wife, or if you are a part of the Hebrew Israelite religion, you can say wives, the women you get involved with, because the woman you have as your helpmeet can either build you up and build your family up, or she can be another adversary who will become a crab in the barrel who can tear you down. And that's what Steve Harvey doesn't understand as he's gotten involved with this woman, Marjorie, I think she is, who has been involved with drug dealers. I mean, he's involved with this woman, he's settled for less, and he doesn't understand his value as a man. And he's out here getting involved with a woman who basically is using him because he's her last option. She basically saw the dope boy go to jail that she really had the feelings for, and she's settling for Steve Harvey, the beta male simp, because he's there and can provide for her. And the whole thing is, his whole message runs contradictory because Marjorie didn't make another him. No, Marjorie had Steve taking care of his daughter, and again, showing that Steve Harvey's whole argument is just completely falls apart, because if Marjorie loved Steve, she would have made another him with Steve, and she would have been teaching this child Steve's values. And again, this is why it's important for you to find out what a woman brings to the table, because again, what a woman brings to the table is what's going to be taught to your children, and that is why you cannot go out here and take the choice of what woman you get involved with for granted, because the woman you get involved with and decide to can go out here and either help you take care of your business as related to your home and your family, or she's going to go out here and look to take everything away from you, whether it be in a divorce or an affair, because if that woman does not bring respect and morals and values to you, then she's not bringing anything to the table that will allow you to go out here and build a strong family or a strong home. So this is what Steve Harvey does not understand about a man going out here and taking care of a woman. Taking care of a woman is not something that a woman is entitled to, like many simps believe. No, in order for a woman to be taken care of like a wife, she has to bring some morals and values to the table. She has to bring respect and honor to the table, because a man wants to see those values reflected back at him, because that woman is a reflection of who he is, and how she goes out here and behaves is a reflection of him. So any man with standards is going to sit there and say, no, I'm going to insist on finding out what this woman brings to the table. And that is what courtship is all about. Courtship is about finding out what this woman brings to the table. It is a place where you go to meet the parents. It is a place where you go to talk to the father. It is a place where you observe and assess the family unit that she came a part of. And it is a place where you go out here and you sit down and you talk to this woman. You watch how she carries and conducts herself. You watch how she behaves, and you watch to see if this is the kind of behavior you want reflected on you. That is what a man does in a courtship. Unfortunately, because Madison Avenue and Hollywood have hijacked courtship and turned it into dating, most guys are out here caught up in their lust, thinking about those double D's or that 66-inch rear end, and thinking about finding a way to stick that carbon rod in that atomic waste reactor and get their taste of the waste. And as they're sitting there thinking about getting their taste of sardines and ravioli, they're sitting there thinking about getting her to drop that skid mark jockey thong, and allowing them again to get that taste of the atomic waste as they pull back on that weave. That's what these guys have been indoctrinated into as related to Madison Avenue and Hollywood, creating the whole concept of dating being about getting sex. But when a man is out here and understands his role as a man under the Most High, he understands that he is looking for a helpmeet. He is looking for a partner who will go out here and be a wife to him, someone who will respect his position under God, to submit to his authority, and somebody who will respect and trust his judgment, because they understand that the Most High is guiding this man towards building that family, and building that family that submits to with both of them submitting under God. But Steve Harvey doesn't understand this, and because he just doesn't understand this, what he's thinking about is, oh, a man is supposed to never ask what a woman brings to the table. No, you need to find out what she brings to the table, because what she brings to the table is going to set the course for your family. Because, again, like the old African proverb says, a race can rise no higher than the moral position of its women. And as the woman goes, so goes the race. And as that woman is, so goes your family. So if you choose to go out here and have a child with that woman, that child, if she has that child can either be the best reflection of you when she makes another you, or she can be a reflection of all of her dysfunction. And that is something that, again, flies over the heads of a Steve Harvey, flies completely over his head. And again, he is just somebody who shows that he knows nothing about relationships, even though he's been here over 60 plus years. I mean, he just doesn't understand how things work, and he wants to get on these younger brothers about not getting involved with these women. Well, those women have to bring something to the table, because in an interdependent relationship, the man has to bring something, the woman has to bring something, and both of them have to bring something of equal value. And while a man may provide economically for a woman has to provide intangibles like values and character, so that she can show how she's going to be a partner who will work with him towards going out here and building this relationship. Now, the man also has to be a head as well. In addition to going out here and providing financially, a man has to provide experience. A man has to provide guidance. A man has to be a teacher. This is something Ringo talks about all the time. A man has to teach and give guidance to not only his woman, but he also has to give guidance to her children as well, because the man as the head has to set direction and tone, and part of setting a direction and tone is that man going out here and insisting that this woman bring something to the table, because a leader does not just settle for anything without a standard. No, a leader has a standard, and he insists that the women he gets involved with meet his standard. And again, part of meeting a standard is bringing something to the table. And if you don't have anything to offer in terms of morals, values, or character, most men aren't going to see you as somebody who is wife material. No, he's going to see you as just basically somebody he doesn't need to go out here and get involved with. Now, the Pookies, the Ray Rays, and the whoremonger males, they'll get involved with these women because they have no standard. But a man with standards is going to look at that woman like I was back when I was 14 years old and say to himself, okay, I can't get respect from minute one. So if I can't get respect, then I don't need to move forward with this girl. And that's what a man is going to say when he's involved with a woman or a girl when he's a teenager. If he can't get respect, he's not looking to further get involved. But these women will go out here and show respect to a Pookie. They will show respect to Ray Ray. They will show respect to that white man at that corporate office or that government welfare state or that courtroom. They will show respect to those males. But if they can't show a man his respect, then he's got no reason to continue moving forward at that point. And again, Steve Harvey doesn't understand the concept of respect because he has no standards. And this is what simps don't have. Simps don't have standards, so they will try to shame you into getting into relationships with women and just accepting them as they are. And if somebody doesn't meet your standard and you see them as they are, you have a right to reject them. And you have a right to reject them because they do not meet your standard. And if they don't meet your standard, then you have absolutely nothing in common with that woman. Why should a man look to take care of someone who is out here talking about how strong and independent she is, talking about how she does not need a man? Why would a man who serves the Most High, like I do, go out here and want to get involved with a woman who says that she does not need a man? This is diametrically opposed to what is presented in the Bible, because what is presented in the Bible is that a woman who wants to be a part of God's order wants to be a helpmeet to a man, and being a part of a helpmeet to a man means that you're going to follow the 2 commandments, which are loving the Lord with all your heart, soul, and strength, and loving your neighbor as yourself. And part of that loving the Lord is respecting the Lord by going out here and looking to submit to the man that you are involved with, because you love the Lord and you love that man as you would love yourself. That is what a man and a woman would want to be in a relationship, and that's what a woman would want to be. But when you have women talking about they are strong and independent and don't need a man, then that man cannot go out here and take care of that woman, because every part of her is looking to serve the state, looking to serve corporate America, and they are submitted and unequally yoked to that corporate state and government. And as they are unequally yoked to them, they cannot yoke to you and be equal under God. That is what many American and Western women have a problem with. And again, Steve Harvey wants you to sit there and take care of this woman who is already being sufficiently obligated under feminism. And again, she doesn't want to leave God's order to become a part of yoke to a man and have a light burden under God. This is something I talk about in my book, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single, and I also talk about in The Woman Crisis. This is something that Steve Harvey has not gone in depth on. No, he just thinks I'm supposed that all because this woman can make another you. Again, what other you is she making if her morals are messed up? No, she's not making another you that can go out here, and build like a man. No, she's creating a beta male Pookie or a beta male Ray Ray or Jaheim. She's making a dysfunctional version of herself. And that's not enough for me to go out here and want to get involved with this woman. Again, doesn't bring anything to the table in terms of morals, values, or character. And if you don't bring morals, values, or character to the table, then a man doesn't want to even think about considering you. A man wouldn't think about considering today's modern woman, because today's modern woman is not ready to be a wife. No, she wants to be her own woman. She's being the helpmeet to men in corporate America and the government. And as she's being helpmeets to those men, she is sitting there unequally yoked under Satan. And again, Steve Harvey wants to give all of this a pass, and he wants to give all of this a pass trying to shame men. But there's nothing to be ashamed of if you are following God's order, because under God's order you understand that the Most High will provide you with a helpmeet and a wife. And again, he will find a way to help you find that wife. But the whole thing is that you cannot let these guys shame you like a bunch of adolescents under peer pressure to settle for less. No, as God's head and God's steward, you have to establish your standard, and you have to insist upon your standard. And this is, again, something I learned way back when I was 14 and reinforced to me when I was 16, when I almost caved into peer pressure, when the Most High said I wasn't ready for a relationship. But I understood why, because you have guys like Steve Harvey. These guys are bullies. They want to coerce you into getting involved with women who don't meet his standard, and he wants to get you involved with women who are far below his standard so that you can be miserable in the company, settling for less instead of getting God's best. And as you sit there and settle for less, you're sitting there thinking, oh, I got to take care of a woman. No, a woman has to show you that she is worthy of your care, because God is going to provide for both of you, but she has to have the faith in you to stand by you as you do God's will and you follow his lead. So this is something, again, Steve Harvey doesn't really get, because Steve Harvey is, again, thinking, oh, I got to take care of any woman. No, women who get taken care of are taking care of a man. It is an interdependent relationship. That man is serving her because she's serving him, and that man is loves her because he wants to take care of her because she loves him, and she's meeting his needs because he's meeting her needs. Again, it is an interdependent exchange, not I just take care of you, because simps think, oh, if I give this woman money, this will lead to her eventually respecting me. This is the covert contract that has gotten many simps jammed up, because they will go out here, buy this, like Will Smith, buy a woman a house, buy a woman a car, take care of everything that she needs, buy all of her clothes, all of her food, and she will sit there and just express contempt for him, express just disrespect towards him, and as she sits there and disrespects him, he's wondering, why isn't this relationship working? Well, yes, you're taking care of her economic needs, but she's not looking to take care of your emotional needs, and both of you are unfulfilled because he doesn't know how to meet your emotional needs because everything with him is about money, and she doesn't want to meet your emotional needs because everything is about everything material. So nobody's being taken care of because nobody understands how relationships work, because again, relationships are not codependent like Steve Harvey is in. No, they are interdependent, and in an interdependent relationship, a woman brings things to the table that can be shared with the things a man brings to the table. Yes, a man primarily brings economic things as related to taking care of a woman, but a man also takes care of a woman's emotional needs by providing her with companionship, providing her with emotional security, and providing her with a sense of emotional security by setting a direction and a tone for the relationship. And as he sets that direction and tone, he makes her feel emotionally secure because she knows that this man will be able to take care of her needs by providing her with leadership and guidance. And this is the thing that Steve Harvey doesn't understand. The most important thing about a relationship is that man providing leadership and guidance, and a woman has to trust a man in order to provide with that leadership and guidance, because it's that man teaching that woman, and Ringo talks about this too. I mean, teaching that woman, that is what that gives that woman emotional security, that makes her feel safe. It is her being taught and guided by that man. And again, this is what Steve Harvey misses out on. He's like, oh, you got to take care of a woman by buying her clothes and stuff. No, woman wants leadership. She wants to know, hey, if I go to this man for advice, I am going to get good advice. I know that if this man teaches me something, I'm going to see it applied in real life. I want to see this man providing emotional support. So if I want to go out here and do something, I have I have assurance that if things don't really go right, he's going to give me guidance to get me back on track. This is the stuff that Steve Harvey doesn't really want to talk about because he doesn't know how relationships work, because he's settled for scraps and leftovers instead of getting the abundant life that he could have with a woman under God. This is what he misses out because he thinks that a woman needs to think like a man and act like a lady, when in actuality, a woman needs to learn how to be a woman who is meeting God's standard, because a woman meeting God's standard doesn't need to think like a man. No, she has faith in her man and trust him to go out here and do what needs to be done. So when I look at Steve Harvey and this whole interview with Shannon Sharpe, it just shows me an old simp never learns any new tricks, and that's how he becomes a trick. that gets turned out by women like Marjorie Harvey and disrespected by daughters like Lori Harvey, who basically reflect their own mother who was involved with Pookie. So that's what happens here with Steve Harvey. I mean, he's putting on a show that shows that he has no real knowledge of what it means to be a man. And if anything, Steve Harvey looks to me like a man in crisis who just needs to stop simping. Now, if you want to learn how to break out of the simp paradigm that Steve Harvey seems to be perpetually in, you can pick up my book, Stop Simping, Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find Stop Simping in other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, Google Play, and Barnes & Noble. And if you want to pick up some of my other men's issues books that will help you get in a God-centered direction, you can pick up books like Manginas, The Misadventures of Captain Save-'em, The Man Crisis, The Woman Crisis, and you can also pick up Why 70% of Black Women Are Single. Also, if you want to learn how to stop being a simp in your career, you can pick up Stop Simping in the Workplace. And if you want to learn how to avoid being a simp online, you can pick up Stop Simping in Cyberspace. All of these books are available on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. They are also available in digital format at other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, and Google Play. And if you want to see me make more men's issues videos like this, you can send a donation to the Cash App, the PayPal, or the Patreon by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, The Temptation of John Haynes. Given to temptation, pick up this action-packed African-American paranormal romance. Get The Temptation of John Haynes in paperback and e-readers today. Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, Godbreaker. The man who rules the world takes on the Asgardian god of thunder in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get your copy of John Haynes, Godbreaker in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere.